He can dribble through like 4 or 5 people.
Yeah.
And I think he's just, from watching him in the past few weeks, he's just now getting that last pass off.
Because he got an assist last game. So, and he's playing 90 minutes. So, then there's Højbjerg, dude. I know because it's fantasy. Højbjerg doesn't get the love that he deserves, but man, he was he was the bargain of the summer for me, for any team in the Premier League so far. I mean, James, you could, like James Rodriguez, you could argue that at the beginning, like for the first 5 or 6 games, but consistently, if you watch Spurs, the thing that makes them tick is Højbjerg. He wins the ball and he's able to get forward and he just runs back and forth all game.
He's like
back and forth.
He's like the Spurs version of Phillips for Leeds, like that.
Yeah, but better.
Yeah, way better. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But no, yeah, he's been killing it. Have they been playing him lone 6 or a double pivot?
I've seen him play with. It's like I want to say it's a double pivot because I've seen him play with Lo Celso and Ndombele, and Lo Celso, but then I've seen him play with Sissoko, so it's. I'm not really positive.
That's interesting if he's trying to make Lo Celso more defensive, or maybe he's just making him an 8. Yeah, because Sissoko's not really an 8.
No, and when French plays Sissoko out on the wing, it just baffles me.
Yeah, it's weird. He played there for Newcastle, I believe.
I think you're right. That was when they had like Czech Tiote and everyone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so this week they had Højbjerg, Sissoko, and Lo Celso in the midfield. So I guess Sissoko was the main holding. Højbjerg was the 8, and Lo Celso was the cam. And then against Chelsea, they had Højbjerg, Sissoko, and then Ndombele. So maybe I'm mixing up Sissoko, and so like Sissoko is probably their 6.
Yeah.
And then Højbjerg is the man who went. Yeah, that's basically what it is.
Højbjerg's the 8.
Højbjerg is the 8, but he's like the
deep playmaker.
Yeah, so like it's a better version of McTominay and Fred, basically. So like say McTominay and Sissoko. So McTominay, Sissoko, and Fred is Højbjerg.
Yeah.
Because he can make a good ball, but then it's also like sometimes you just need him to win the ball.
Yeah.
So, and then, so this weekend, Arsenal and Spurs played North London Derby, and I think Spurs had the game wrapped up in the first half, basically, because Arsenal had 2 shots on target total. No, sorry, 2 shots on target. They had 11 shots total. Spurs, I think this is a common theme for Spurs. Spurs had 5 shots, 3 on target, 2 goals against Arsenal. And in the match before, they had they had 5 shots, 1 on goal. And then against City, they had update. They had 4 shots, 2 on goal, 2 goals. So Spurs are being clinical right now with their chances.
With finishing, yeah.
So that is wild.
I hate that they didn't solve the right mid problem in Bale. That it didn't just play together.
They might have, but I think Mourinho wants to just strictly play him because he only plays him in Europa League. Like I have only seen Bale play in Europa League for 90 minutes, and he does well. I don't know why. Maybe Bale's not like fully match fit because he hasn't technically played a full game in like weeks, months since when he was at Real Madrid. He
You just think that front 3 would click and Mourinho would, without a shadow of a doubt, like just put him in immediately.
I mean, it worked in that one game. I think they were down, and then he came on and he freaking won it against Brighton. I think he got a later goal. But let me see what the results of the rest of the matches were.
Are you holding on to him?
Bale?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I have a choice. There's no one else I can really pick up.
Rafinha from Leeds. I think he's about to put up a lot of goals. He looks good too. Yeah.
I can't remember how to get to...
A lot of people were trying to get waivers in this week.
Who did Joe go for?
Who the hell went in for Fofana? Oh, that's crazy. Who did that? Who's C with a star?
Joseph. Because he's not allowed to be coveted.
Oh.
So Liverpool played Wolves and beat them 4-0. I didn't watch that because I was at work. So I don't really know how that game went. Chelsea played Leeds and won 3-1. I think that was a very... the scoreline, I don't think, reflected the match. I think Leeds overall were like the better team. I think they just didn't score their chances. But then in the first half, and then the second half, Chelsea were just all over them. Like, it wasn't even fair. And then when I think Pulisic came on, I don't remember what minute, and got a...
I think it was somewhere in the 50s. He didn't come on too late. It wasn't at halftime, so I think it was somewhere fairly early. And
then he got the goal in the end. But then, dude, I'm looking at the stats here, and I wish I could see the difference between the first half and the second half, because I definitely watched the first half, and I know Bamford had like five opportunities to get at least a hat trick, and he scored the one. And then Giroud got that goal in the 30th minute, and I don't remember. I wasn't watching that really. I was just kind of following along when I was going shopping with. And then second half total, Chelsea have 23 shots, 11 on goal. So I think that definitely, that was a game of two halves, much like the United and West Ham match. Leicester, who did they play? They played Sheffield and won 2-1. That was a pretty bad match to watch, in all honesty. Jamie Vardy getting a 90th minute winner. And I think he might have got a yellow card for taking his shirt off, because he got a yellow card in the 91st minute. Which, if you're taking your shirt off against Sheffield in the 91st minute,
chill out, son.
Yeah. Southampton played Brighton and won 2-1. I think that's what won Palmer his game. No, it didn't win Palmer his game because he only tied. But he needed, what's his name, Danny Ings to score, and he scored a penalty. And that game was fairly even. It was 12 shots to Brighton, 10 to Southampton, 4 on target for Brighton, 3 on target for Southampton. So that was probably a fairly even match. And then Everton, I think they drew. Yeah, they drew with Burnley. That was an awful match. I was waking up in and out of sleep to watch that. And then Villa and Newcastle obviously didn't play because of the COVID outbreak at Newcastle. But
who got it? Because I'm putting Wilson on my team right now.
I couldn't tell you. I really have no clue. And then this upcoming week, we have the first matches on Friday, and it's Leeds versus West Ham. That could be a decent match. I'd probably not start any defenders from either team. Unless you have,
I just took Cresswell out.
Yeah.
For my team next week.
Because Leeds can show that they can score a lot of goals.
Dude, the thing is, and they should, obviously, with the amount of chances that they have, but it's they're not like missing overt chances. It's hitting the post 6 times a game, which is insane. Like the odds of doing that and not putting them away.
I think they
so
have,
unlucky.
Like, I think they're up there with Spurs. So like, there's this stat website that does stuff for the Premier League, but they don't do it for Champions League. I can't remember the name of it right now, but they show like your XG per game and it like how many goals you should have. And I'm pretty sure Leeds are up around Spurs with like, I think it was like 40 or something like that. However many goals that Spurs have, they're like one underneath, and they only have like half of that because they're hitting the posts and stuff. From
That's
like
insane.
Because the statistic is based off of where the person is, who's around them, the shot, the accuracy and all that. So like whenever you see teams, like I follow the account on Twitter, and after every game it shows like the actual score and the XG.
I know what you're talking. Yeah, you retweeted it.
The expected goals.
Is it Golasso?
Maybe. And it's like your actual.
Statman Dave does it too.
Statman Dave, he only does it for United though. I think actually United and City, because I think he's just a Manchester person in general. So yeah, definitely wouldn't start anyone on Leeds' backline or West Ham's backline with the way that they're conceding goals. Wolves and Villa, I expect Villa to have a good game against Wolves, considering they had an extra week off. And the last time they played was against West Ham, and they lost 2-1. And then they've lost. Well, they lost 2-1 to Brighton before that as well. So I expect Villa to come out with a little bit more aggression than normal. And then Wolves, I didn't get to watch them against Arsenal or the last game against Liverpool, but they seem like they're very tame now that they don't have Raul Jimenez up top to bring the ball forward for them.
I think they've slid Podence inside now.
Yeah.
He's playing like a false nine.
What about that kid that they picked up from Portugal that you and Juan were talking about?
Fabio, yeah, he's good. And he was good in Portugal.
But he's not a starter.
He's 17.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't say he's not a starter. I'd say he's 17.
Okay.
So I'm not too sure. From what I've seen...
Isn't Pedro Neto? Or is he...
He's 20.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but from what I've seen from Silva, there's more fluidity. He drops in and plays with him instead of trying to lead a line of when there's nobody else up there with you. For the striker Raul Jimenez it doesn't fit the system that Nuno plays at all. I mean, like he gets goals, and any striker will. I mean, Wood scores for Burnley. Any striker is going to get some goals. Yeah, you see what I mean? However, Raul could have a lot more if he had a 10 behind him.
See, I think...
But they don't. And the thing is, it's not only that he doesn't have midfielders. He's got Neves and Matinho behind him, two of the slowest midfielders in the league. Yeah. And so whenever you see Wolves lose the ball, any team they're playing possesses the shit out of them between Jimenez and between Matinho and Neves. Hard. Like, that's where they operate from.
Really, the only time I see Wolves be really effective is when they especially last year, whenever they would bring on Traore and they would just get him the ball, make him run down the wing and cross it into Jimenez.
He's a different beast, though. Yeah. I mean, like, nobody else in the league can do what he does and outpace people and, shoulder defenders off the ball. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, he's bigger than most.
He's just basically like a big black Dan James.
Yeah.
Which is way better than just regular Dan James.
Way more strength too,
dude.
James won't he'll get knocked off the ball, but the thing with Traore is you can hit him into space, he'll beat anybody there. You can give him a debatable hospital ball, and he'll send that person to the hospital. Yeah,
he's absurdly big.
He's the exact player you want to put in. He's the 75th, 80th.
You know what he is? He's a Jose Mourinho player.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. Just
imagine him being
a
specialist
right player, like nothing. There's
does nothing good other than just run, kick, and shoot.
Yeah, like an unbalanced player that's really good. Like somebody that Juninho guy who was on Olympic Lyon. Like he was all right in midfield, but dude was just good at free kicks. That was it. Like he was just a fucking baller at free kicks. And that's kind of like Adama's a specialist type player. He's one position. He's one specialty. And he can only be utilized in one way. Adama, and if you don't figure it out, you can't use him.
Adama, learn one step over, and you will beat so many more defenders.
He jukes people out too, but it looks so awkward because
he's just so big.
Thighs are massive, dude. It's like it almost won't let him do the trick, you know.
And Adama, we know you work out. You don't have to ever admit it, but we know you do.
There was a NBC did a thing with Connor Cody, and they asked him it was like one of the last questions. It wasn't like it was just kind of like a joke question. Thing, exactly. And Cody goes, "No, man, never seen him do any push-ups, any weights, anything like that." And they're like, "You're kidding." He's like, nope.
Garbage.
He's like, "Nope."
That's a lie. And then the next match is Newcastle and West Brom. I don't know if I'd start anyone from either team because I don't know if that match is actually going to go on. I mean, obviously your player is going to get subbed out if you start them. So the only players that I think are worth starting that game are Callum Wilson and Pereira from West Brom. Other than that, I wouldn't start anyone else.
Pereira hadn't been their man lately.
That's true. He's been pretty bad.
Gallagher's been stepping up. He's playing from a deeper spot. He may just be getting lucky, but I mean, the only goals they're getting, it's Gallagher.
And he's on loan from Chelsea too.
Yeah, he is. He's not going back to stay.
No. And then the next match is United versus City. That'll be a big match. I expect United to concede because I don't think they've kept a clean sheet all year.
City are running high. We're gonna